the world. So therefore, if you do not know the essence of Gita, you are really missing out something in your life. So therefore, I thought that if we were to teach Gita the whole year, it may take time, and all of you are very busy. Therefore, we have put it very succinctly in just 4 sessions only. And these 4 sessions will cover 4 great truths said in the Bhagavad Gita. You all can repeat after me. This body is not all in all.
This body is not all in all.
Soul exists.
Soul exists.
So this is your identity. This body is not all in all. Soul exists. Which means I am not the car, I am the driver of the car. Second thing, this one lifetime is not all in all.
This one lifetime is not all in all.
Many more lifetimes exist. So this is called transmigration, we call it. The soul going from one body to another. I'll explain it in the next session more detail about karma theory and all that. The third one, this material world is not all in all. Spiritual world exists. So this is the material plane, spiritual plane. Right now we are in material world, but there is a spiritual world. So this is about the ultimate goal to be achieved. I will explain about it in the third session more. The last one, we are not all in all. We are not. There is a God in control. So this is, so you can remember the very simple acronym GITA. You remember Gita. Okay. So G for God, which I told you just now. We are not all in all. This is God in control. And I stands for identity. What did I say about identity? Soul, yeah. Soul is identity. Body is not all in all, soul exists. And T for transmigration. Okay. That is the second thing I told you. This one body is not all in all. One lifetime, many more lifetimes exist. That is a transmigration. And A stands for aim of life. What is the aim of life? This material world is not all in all. Spiritual world exists. You have to go from Asatoma Sadgamaya. You heard this? It's a Vedic statement. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. From the world of death, we should go to the world of immortality. From the world of darkness, we should go to the world of wisdom. From the world of temporary things in this world, we should go to the world of permanent things. God is permanent, we are permanent. And nothing perishes there. Everything is everlasting. So, in this way, that is the aim of life. So, you remember these 4 letters of acronym. G for God. God is in control. We are not in control of everything. God is in control. I for identity, which is the soul. And T for transmigration. A for aim of life. To go back to Godhead. So, these are the 4 themes which will be elaborated in the 4 sessions. Today I am beginning with the first session today. So these are the things you are going to learn. Am I matter or spirit? The 6 changes of living body. So these are the 5 themes that we will see in this PowerPoint. So many people are thinking that they are just this material body. They think body is like some kind of robot. They think like that, many people. So let us see who we are. You ask anybody, who are you? They may generally tell their name or they may tell their place of birth. So if you see what is in it, this is Dr. Harry Monson from Illinois College of Medicine. He says that he made research of the human body and he found that these are the things in the human body. The calcium, phosphate, potassium, sulfur and sodium, magnesium, and copper, iron, and all that. So this is what every one of our bodies consists of. Ask yourself, are you this? And he says that the value of all these items put together is rupees 110. Are you worth only this much? Ask yourself. Imagine if one of our friends is going in a Mercedes Benz and there was an accident. So will you rush your friend to the hospital, or will you take Mercedes to the garage? Which one would you do first? Take him to hospital, right? If he is worth rupees 110, why would we bother about the body so much? Think about it. Mercedes Benz is like 30, 40 lakhs or whatever. So that would be more worthier than the person's body, isn't it? So therefore, we have to ask this serious question. Does that sound like you? All this combination of these chemicals. So actually, there are two types of sciences: mechanistic science and non-mechanistic science. Mechanistic science only sees what you perceive with your senses, like the eyes, ears, nose, and tongue and skin. Based on that, whatever is perceivable, they accept, and beyond that, they don't accept anything. That is mechanistic science. For example, if I give a gulab jamun, you can, with mechanistic science, you can say gulab jamun is a spherical object. The porosity is this much, diameter is this much, and it is floating in a liquid of viscosity mu, this much. All that you can say. But you can't say how does the gulab jamun taste. That with mechanistic science you cannot say. You can have a vernier calipers to measure the diameter and all that. So, a non-mechanistic science means, like for example, no robot can tell you the beauty of a flower, or fragrance of a flower, the beauty of a painting, the sweetness of music. They can't talk about it. These are only possible where there is consciousness. So non-mechanistic science talks about the entity beyond the material body. So if you think you are more than the chemicals, then who are you? Then what is your real identity? So here is one famous actress, you may be aware. When she died, after death, you can see that the chemicals are same, feelings, there are no feelings, no thinking, no desires, no moment, no consciousness. I think a few years ago she passed away, 3-4 years ago, I think. So now, what is the difference between Shri Devi, living Shri Devi, and then her dead body? If you see, body is same, but the soul is missing. Once the soul leaves the body is fed to the fire. Shankaracharya says in one of the Bhajagovinda prayers, Yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayu deha paye bharyam vibhyati tasmin kaye bhajagovindam. He says that as long as the soul is present in the body, people will come and ask you, how do you do? And you will say, I'm fine and all that. The moment the soul has left the body, even relatives will be afraid to come near the body, he's saying. The very same day, within 6 hours, they feed the body into the fire. So what is so special in the body that people embrace the body, kiss the body, and cherish the body at one time? And what is missing in the body, by missing of which people, the very same body which they considered most endearing, they feed it into the fire? One should ask this question. And the difference is the soul, he says. Just like if you bring gulab jamun in the market in a carry bag, as soon as you take out the gulab jamun and keep it on a plate, the carry bag doesn't carry any more value. It goes straight into dustbin. Similarly, when the soul comes out of the body doesn't have any value. That's the most important thing to know. Like for example, when hair is on your head, people put shampoo, people put scented oils, and they keep it like a silky hair. Men and women both keep it very nice. Where there are so many hairstyles. But if one hair comes in your food, will you like it? The very same, very dear hair, when it is detached from the body, it comes in the food. You throw away the whole plate and you see the hair. Same way when you have nails, people put different very nice nail polishers, and they keep watching it, how beautiful my nails look like. But when the nails are clipped, when it comes out from the body, it's considered abominable. It is thrown straight into the dustbin. There's no value. So, what is it that makes this body so special that when it is a part of the body, we value it so much? What is the body? Are we attracted to this flesh and the bones and the bile stool, mucus, all these things? No. There is a spark of life in this body which is very attractive. That's what makes the body very special. You see, if you go to an aquarium, any of you have gone to an aquarium? An aquarium is a place where, you see the fishes, right? Yeah. So you see colorful fishes, golden color, orange color, yellow color, blue color, different colored fishes are moving like this. And you can just keep watching it for even for an hour also you can watch it. What is so special about watching those fishes? Why do you like to keep watching it for a long time? What is so special? So one boy was telling, we watch it because there's a movement of the fish is attractive. Even the fan is moving. Anybody is watching a moving fan? Are we attracted? Or in the you can see that just the movement. Movement doesn't make the thing attractive. What makes the thing attractive, if you see, is the life that is present in those fishes. Imagine the same fishes. If the life was gone, they all are dead and lying at the bottom of the aquarium. Will anybody want to see it? There is no value to that. Where there is life spark, you get attracted. Once Srila Prabhupada in America only was walking with a few disciples. And Prabhupada showed one girl coming in the road. He said, see, will you see that girl walking in the road? Or will you see the man and queen kept in the shop? Yes. There is another girl in the shop, the doll of a girl, and decorated with some dress. Will you see this or will you see this? Of course, it's a very embarrassing question. But the disciples admitted, we will not be attracted to see this dead body in the shop. We would like to see somebody walking lively, they say. So what makes that body special is the living spark. When that living spark leaves the body, that woman's body as well as the one in the shop will not have any difference. They both will be same only because both are made of same substances. What makes this body different from that is the living spark, the Atma. Now, why is Atma very attractive? What is so special about it? Because Atma is a part and parcel of Supreme Atma and Paramatma. So God is very beautiful. So Atma is also beautiful. For example, if a mother and father both say man is very handsome and his wife is also very beautiful, the child which comes out also will look very attractive, correct? No? Because father and mother both are attractive, the child is also very attractive. Similarly, when God is also supremely attractive. So we being his children, we are also Atma is also very attractive. And that attractive Atma, when it is occupying a body, then that body becomes attractive. When that Atma leaves the body has no value. Just like if you wear a gloves and I move the hands like this, it will appear that the gloves is alive. Is the gloves alive? The gloves are never alive. When you take off the hand like this, the gloves drops down. Similarly, the body is even now not alive. What makes the body appear alive is the soul. That's the point mentioned here. Srila Krishna is telling Arjuna, the soul, na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitavana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Arjuna, for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time, which means the soul is imperishable. It never came into existence. It has been always there. As soon as God was there, soul has been there. So, in that sense, soul was not created. Soul always is there. As soon as sun is there, the sun's particles are there, sun rays are there. Like that, soul has been there. See, the soul is passing. You're seeing that? What are the differences between the body and soul? Like you saw in this picture now. Sorry. See, soul is passing through the bodies which are changing, childhood, boyhood to youth to old age, and then what remains is only a skeleton which can be kept in an anatomical laboratory or something. This is the body. See, the body is matter, soul is spirit. Body is, never conscious, but the soul is conscious. Body changes, it changes, but soul never changes. You see, body is temporary, but the soul is eternal. Eternal means imperishable, immortal. That is the Omkar. If this could be kept a little below tomorrow, I don't know whether it's possible. Because many of them have to raise their necks. It's a little pretty high, I think. If it could be just here in this place. So even people from here can watch. Maybe tomorrow we can arrange it. Yeah. So you see, from material point of view, people think we are the material body is made up of matter, and they think we are just a chemical bundle. Everything's finished time out. That's what they think. In my school days, so I once asked my chemistry teacher about what is my body. She said, "Your body is you are a chemical bundle." I asked, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm another chemical bundle." And what about my mother? She's another chemical bundle. And what do you think about the emotions my mother feels for me and I feel for her? She said, "Oh, this is like, C fibers are firing, delta fibers are firing," they say like that. It is a chemical secretion. Actually, it is a fact that when you feel an emotion, there is a chemical secretion. But the chemical secretion is not the emotion. Chemical secretion may happen as a consequence. For example, if you take a nail and hit it, while hitting, if the finger comes midway, your finger gets hit. So when you hit it, then what happens? The nociceptors are contracted, and then the electrochemical signal is passed to the brain, and the brain wave shows a spike, which you study. So now, at that time, this is the primary behavior. The secondary behavior is, like that you shout when you get hit. So the important question is, who is the perceiver of the pain when you hit it? Who is like when you are hitting it, is it the cerebrum or is it the medulla oblongata? Is it the brain? Or is it what else? Scientists have been curious to study how in a living body there is consciousness, one perceives the pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. For example, if I praise one of you, you will have a smile on your face. If I insult one of you, you will have a frown on your face. Is it not so? Because you have emotions, you have feelings, you have thinking, all these things. So we are not just a chemical bundle. In Illinois State University, one professor was giving a 2 hours lecture on chemical evolution theory. So one of Prabhupada's students was there, Dr. T.D. Singh. He asked him, "Sir, all the while you have been speaking that, we have come from chemicals. Now, if I give you all these chemicals, can you combine them and create life?" He asked him. And the professor, for the first time, professor heard such a question. He thought and said, "That I cannot say," he said. Where is the question of that I cannot say? You can never do it. In fact, there was an Abraham D. Kobur, one atheist in Sri Lanka. ISKCON leader, Hamsadutta Swami, he gave him a challenge. "You create one mosquito and show me, I'll give you 1 crore rupees." He said, "Today, right now on the table, we are keeping 1 crore. He said, "Take this and create a mosquito. Combine the chemicals and make a mosquito." He said, "You cannot do it." So actually, from chemicals, life doesn't arise. But from life, chemicals arise. For example, take a lemon tree. It produces tons of citric acid. But from citric acid, can you produce a lemon tree? You cannot. Similarly, from a human body, you will see living body, so many chemicals come out. But you cannot take the chemicals and create a human body. Even if you take all the chemicals of the human body, you cannot do it. So this is the material conception. They think everything's finished at death, but actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that we are not the material body made of flesh and bones. It's only a vehicle for the soul. And we don't die when the material body stops to function. At the time of death, the soul comes out. And then we will see in the next session what happens to soul. In every living body you see here, wherever there is a living body, there is a spiritual spark seated in the region of the heart. Just like here, in the car there is a horn, we also speak. And the car has 4 wheels, we have 2 hands and 2 legs. But the car cannot budge 1 inch unless there is a driver. Even the remote operated cars also, there is a man behind the remote cars. You agree? Do the remote cars operate on their own? There is somebody behind, correct? No? If any of you is from mechanical engineering, you may be aware of the capstan and turret lathes. They are actually called as automatic lathes. Do you know that? They call it automatic lathes. Automatic lathe doesn't mean the machine functions automatically. They actually, they have a turret, they call it. They design it, from each face, it stops the bar star. It makes it octagonal. Then, it makes a hole, it makes a screw and all that, different faces. Setup only takes 2-3 days to do. But once you do it, then we can use that lathe to produce, 1 lakh nuts or 1 lakh bolts. We can do that. It just runs and does it. So they call it automatic. But that automatic lathe was also set up before by some living man. You will see that. No machine can in this world function without the touch of a spirit. Like scientists were saying about the sun, we think it's nuclear fusion that causes the sun to go on and on with so much of heat and light emanating for thousands and millions of years. Even let us assume it to be true. But can a chain reaction start without bombarding the first neutron? 1 and 0? Is it possible? Can any chain reaction start without bombarding the first neutron? Therefore, you will see that without the touch of the spirit, matter cannot function. Like this table now, it's made from a tree into a table. Spirit can manipulate matter, but matter cannot function on its own. That's the point. Like a bird is trapped in a cage, the soul is trapped in the body. But look at this old lady, what is she doing? She's just painting the cage and not feeding the bird. Similarly, people in this world also are spending a lot of time with the body. You agree? For example, there are 24 types of hairstyles for which people go to the salon. How many types of watches? People are watch conscious, people are belt conscious, people are shoe conscious, people are jeans conscious, people are conscious of so many other things, basically connected to the body. But how many people think about their own soul and try to do good for the soul? So, I'll just show you this 1 minute. I think I have to make sure the sound goes to them also. Just 1 minute. Yes.
The Four Wives. There was a rich merchant who had 4 wives.
Okay, 1 minute, this one. It's coming now? Okay.
There was a rich merchant who had 4 wives. He loved the 4th wife the most and adorned her with rich robes and treated her to delicacies. He took great care of her and gave her nothing but the best. He also loved the 3rd wife very much. He's very proud of her and always wanted to show off her to his friends. However, the merchant is always in great fear that she might run away with some other men. He too loved his 2nd wife. She is a very considerate person, always patient, and in fact is the merchant's confidant. Whenever the merchant faced some problems, he always turned to his 2nd wife, and she would always help him out and tide him through difficult times. Now the merchant's 1st wife is a very loyal partner and has made great contributions in maintaining his wealth and business as well as taking care of the household. However, the merchant did not love the 1st wife, and although she loved him deeply, he hardly took notice of her. One day, the merchant fell ill. Before long, he knew that he was going to die soon. He thought of his luxurious life and told himself, "Now I have 4 wives with me, but when I die, I'll be alone. How lonely I'll be." Thus, he asked the 4th wife, "I love you most, endowed you with the finest clothing and showered great care over you. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company?" "No way," replied the 4th wife, and she walked away without another word. The answer cut like a sharp knife right into the merchant's heart. The sad merchant then asked the 3rd wife, I have loved you so much for all of my life. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company?" "No," replied the third wife. "Life is so good over here. I'm going to remarry when you die." The merchant's heart sank and turned cold. He then asked the second wife, "I always turn to you for help, and you've always helped me out. Now I need your help again. When I die, will you follow me and keep me company?" "I'm sorry, I can't help you out this time," replied the second wife. "At the very most, I can only send you to your grave." The answer came like a bolt of thunder, and the merchant was devastated. Then a voice called out, "I'll leave with you. I'll follow you no matter where you go." The merchant looked up, and there was his first wife. She was so skinny, almost like she suffered from malnutrition. Greatly grieved, the merchant said, "I should have taken much better care of you while I could have." Actually, we all have 4 wives in our lives. The fourth wife is our body. No matter how much time and effort we lavish in making it look good, it'll leave us when we die. Our third wife? Our possessions, status, and wealth. When we die, they all go to others. The second wife is our family and friends. No matter how close they had been there for us when we're alive, the furthest they can stay by us is up to the grave. The first wife is in fact our soul, often neglected in our pursuit of material, wealth, and sensual pleasure. Guess what? It is actually the only thing that follows us wherever we go. Perhaps it's a good idea to cultivate and strengthen it now, rather than to wait until we're on our deathbed to lament.
So, what is the fourth wife? Anybody remembers? He's ready, Gopal.
That story. The words in the story are the same, and the pictures are the same.
Who is the fourth wife?
Body.
Our body. Of course, we all take care of the body very well, but at the time of death, the body is fed to the fire.
Yeah.
Correct, no? Yeah.
No, the first wife is the soul.
So, yeah.
No. You are going in this way, I am going in another order. Okay. And after the body, he said, one more wife.
Possession.
Wealth, especially wealth and possession. So he says that when he was taking that wife here and there and showing off to people, he was also afraid somebody should not loot it away. Correct, no? But then she said that when you are dead, life is so good out here, I will marry another man, she said, isn't it? Which means our wealth goes to someone else. Even the insurance companies cannot give you wealth, but they can only give for the nominee. They can't give you anything. You push off from the scene. And then second wife is a family and friends. They are very considerate, very kind, helpful, but then they can at the most come up to the graveyard till the body is fed to the fire, and they can't come with us. So after the death, when the soul leaves and goes to the next destination, it is actually the super soul or God who is accompanying us, guiding us. About whom people don't think about when they are normally living. God is the last thing people think about. They think about how to decorate the body themselves, how to accumulate a lot of money, how to socialize with relatives and friends. These things people do a lot, but they generally neglect God. So that's the point. Here also you see this lady is neglecting the soul and polishing the cage and neglecting the parrot like that. So there are 6 changes that happen in a living body. We talk about it. So one scientist asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, body is just a complex machine that gets worn out and crashes after some time, like a car. Why do you talk about the soul powering the body? Prabhupada asked him a brilliant question. He asked him, does a car grow or a computer grow? And do you have male and female cars that can unite and produce a baby car? Yeah, you will find our body is not just a machine. Our body actually has a resident in the body, which is the soul. Therefore, our body grows. Have you ever seen any machine growing? Machines only depreciate. But our bodily machine is growing. Just like now you see Gopal. How old are you, Gopal?
8.
Yeah?
I'm
8, yeah. Gopal is 8 now. And Gopal becomes 15 or becomes 20. He'll be like many of you here, isn't it? He'll be grown up. The body grows up because of the presence of the soul. See, these are 3 main differences between living body and a robot. A living body undergoes 6 changes, while matter only dwindles. See the 6 changes? Everybody in this world, you see, they are born, they grow, they maintain the body, they produce children, they dwindle, and then the body dies. These are 6 changes you find in any other living body. The top I have shown all species. In all the living species, you will find these 6 changes. This is the proof for the presence of the soul. Wherever soul is present, you will find these 6 changes, you will see. And the second difference, a male and female living body can multiply similar species. You can see that, for example, here you see, a man and woman can produce a baby, dogs can produce puppies, cuckoos, they all produce. All the living bodies can, male and female can unite and produce babies. But you don't find a truck and a bus uniting and producing a car. You don't find that. Machines don't reproduce. Thirdly, a living body has consciousness, thinking, feeling, and willing. One time they showed in a TV, a robot was doing Aarti to Balaji, and it was ringing bell also. So for some farmers who are watching it in the village, they were like, stand there. They said, wow, even a man has become so advanced, the robots are doing Aarti, they were saying. But any of you electronic engineers, well, nothing great about it. You just have a microprocessor, you write the program for linear and rotary motions. And the movement is quite possible. What is missing in the robot is what? Yeah? Feelings are not there. Consciousness is not there. It is programmed to do like that, correct? No? Like if you program your computer to say, as soon as you open the computer in the morning, if you tell him to say good morning, it will say good morning. But if you program the computer to say good night in the morning, as soon as you open the computer in the morning, it will say good night, it will say. Because it's a dead machine. Whatever you program it to say, it will say. It doesn't have consciousness. So, that is one of the most important differences, the consciousness thing. Yeah. For example, I have an alarm clock. Sometimes I keep the alarm clock and I get up before the alarm. And now I go to the bathroom to take a bath, but the alarm clock keeps ringing. I used to become upset. Hey, don't you know I have already gotten up, keep quiet. He's not going to keep quiet. Because he's programmed to make the ringing sound. It will keep on ringing, harassing you until you come out of the bathroom. Because machine is a machine. So that's what you can actually program object identification machine, or like it can see sunlight. It's I see red light or I see sunlight. It can say. You can give a printout, but it's actually not seeing. It depends on how you programmed it. You see, the left side picture shows pixels in a computer. That's much different than when a husband and wife, they have feelings for each other. It is not like some robot. So these are the 3 main differences I told you. Living bodies undergo 6 changes, and male, female can reproduce, and we have consciousness, thinking, feeling, willing. These are the 3 main differences we discussed just now. So what you see externally is called gross body, Panchamahabhut, earth, water, fire, air, ether. It's made up of that. Then inside that, we have a subtle body consisting of Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, mind, intelligence, ego. It's called the astral body, Linga Sharir, they call it, or Sukshma Sharir. That is a subtle body. Inside it is called soul. So when the gross body, stops functioning, it is called death. Somebody gets a heart attack, massive heart attack, or somebody gets cancer. Our body withers away by old age. That is called death, we call it. But at the time of death, what happens? This body is finished, gross body. But this subtle body and the soul, that they go to the next body, about which I'll tell you in the future session. I'll tell you, second session, I'll tell you. So now, is there any scientific proof for the evidence of the existence of the soul? There are many evidences. See, when a person dies, the people say that, oh, she has passed away. Who has passed away? The soul has actually passed. The body is very much there. Intuitively, we all say that the father has passed away, grandfather has passed away, but the body is very much there. We know that some very vital thing in the body is missing, which is the soul. This I told you, consciousness. See, this is actually called near-death experience or out-of-body experience. Like you see a man has gone out of his body. I studied in the Reader's Digest. They had given one supplement in 1996. It's called as Into the Unknown. You can check it out if you want from Reader's Digest. Into the Unknown. That's a big book, big size book. So there I got this information that a man was put on a bed, but he can come out of his body and go to a loft, above which in the loft they had kept some 3-4 objects, triangular, circular, like that. And the man is supposed to see them and come back into his body and draw the pictures. And this fellow would exactly draw what objects were kept in the top of the loft. So that was an evidence that he went out to the body, he could see and come back. It's called OBE, we call it. You can go to Google and search. Nowadays, a lot of researches are available on OBE. And NDE also, near-death experience. Michael Sabam has done a lot of research on NDE. Here only in the US, a lot of research happened. Near-death experience means, like here you see, when a person is in a traumatic situation, terrible accidents, when he's about to die, at that time the soul is like lingering, and it's coming out of the body and going in, not sure whether it's going to survive in the body. So when the soul comes out, there are so many books you see, so many books on out-of-body experience, near-death experience. So when the soul is watching the body from a point outside the body, the nurses are all talking, the brain wave is flat, and they think he's unconscious, but he could hear every word they spoke, and people recollected. So now one another proof, how to anybody knows how to hide this one?
The bar at the top? Yeah, you have to drag it. You can drag it. You can drag the bar and then click. Move it to the side.
And it can be made to disappear. Just 1 minute, I'll find.
Hide clothing option.
Alt, no?
No, the 3 dots, if you click on that, there is hide clothing option. If you can see. Hide clothing meeting controls.
That one?
No. The hide clothing meeting controls.
Hide?
Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So this is Dr. Ian Stevenson. He is from University of West Virginia. It's given 2,000, but actually 3,000. There are 3,000 cases of reincarnation memories. How many of you have seen any reincarnation study in the television? You have seen that? Sometimes television and newspaper you must have heard. You know what is re means again? Inkar means entering into flesh. So reincarnation means the soul leaving one body and coming back into another body. So there are so many books, more than 100 books in the market on reincarnation studies. So he did a thorough research and he got a doctorate thesis. And in his thesis, he writes, what are the evidences to show that somebody is reincarnating? Look at this girl. She has a fear for water, because she died in a water accident in the previous life. So now the phobias in the current life are related to, our accidents in the previous life. If somebody drowned and died, they will develop a fear for ocean, water, and things like that. Similarly, if somebody was killed by a bladed weapon, then they will see the knife, they will have phobia. Or somebody was shot with a gun, they will have fear of guns. This is one thing he says. Another interesting thing he says here, see, these twins are all born, the twins are born from the same egg, isn't it? Genetically, they are same, they appear same, but are their natures same? How many of you know of twins whose natures are totally different? You have experienced it, right? Yeah, isn't it? They look exactly the same, but the natures are different. So Ian Stevenson says that 2 souls have entered these 2 bodies. That's why their natures are different. Otherwise, genetically they are same. They should behave the same. They don't behave the same. Yeah. I'm going to show you a short movie. I will skip a part of it. And this is from Discovery Channel.
I can read the Japanese easy as pie.
You're able to hear?
When he was about 3, he started to draw a lot. He started to sign some of those drawings James 3.
He would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire.
So one day I asked him, I said, why are you signing your name James 3? His response was, well, I'm the 3rd James.
It's being called the case for reincarnation.
There you go.
This 7-year-old boy from Louisiana not only shares the same name as this World War II fighter pilot, they seem to share the same soul.
Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
James Leininger's parents don't believe in past lives, but realized early on their son was unique.
I took him to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum. That every time we went to the area where the World War II aircraft were located, he would just stand there and point, mesmerized.
He was barely 2 years old. Here's home video. While the other youngsters viewed the bombers with a childlike curiosity, little James recognized the steely war machines with a certain familiarity and comfort.
The pilot put him on?
I said, oh, look, there's a bomb on the bottom. He said, that's not a bomb, that's a drop tank.
That innocent trip to the museum would dramatically alter their lives and the lives of complete strangers forever.
He started having the nightmares, and that was my first indication that there was something wrong. The screaming was not like a normal child crying. It was a panic-stricken, terrorized screaming.
Over and over again, James had the same terrible nightmare, 4 to 5 times a week. He was too young to explain the dream, but he could draw.
He started doing these little drawings of airplanes shooting at other airplanes or being shot down. It's the only thing he still draws. Bombing ships, you see men parachuting. Here's another one where planes are dropping bombs. And this is a carrier, and you can see where what he does is when he draws them, he starts with just a picture, and then he just starts drawing lines all over the place like he's playing out a movie.
I kept thinking, where is he getting this? What's he watching on television? But I was a stay-at-home mom, so I know that there wasn't anything that he was being exposed to.
Not exposed to in this life, but perhaps, just maybe, somebody else was. Decades earlier, another little boy named James grew up in South Bend, Indiana, with the same insatiable fascination with airplanes. He became a fighter pilot for the Navy and shipped off to fight in World War II. March 3, 1945, during a mission near Iwo Jima, he took a direct hit, was declared missing and presumed dead.
He would wake up in the middle of the night, he'd be laying on his back, kicking his feet up at the ceiling and screaming. It was almost like if you were laying on your back inside a box and you're trying to kick the lid off the box. When I would wake him up, he would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. He said that over and over, night after night.
What goes through your mind when your 2-year-old says things like that?
It freaked me out. It's like I can see in your face that it's startling and it's frightening.
I was alarmed by the frequency of the dreams or nightmares.
This was just the beginning. Nothing could prepare Andrea and Bruce Leininger for what James revealed next.
And I remember he laid on his back and he did the same motion like he did in the nightmares. He laid on his back and kicked up at the ceiling and he goes, Mama, the little man's going like this. And he laid on his back and kicked his feet up. The little man's going, ooh, 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 can't get out. And I said, well, who's the little man, baby? And he goes, me.
So that's because got stuck in just one.
I can read the Japanese easy as pie.
When he was about 3, he started to draw a lot.
So Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's longer than what you saw. The later part of it, his sister Annie. So she's very old now. So when James saw, he recollected her and many other members of the family, he recollected everything. So that's not the, I just showed you on Discovery Channel case just now. This is another one Dr. Anne Stevenson talks about it. Shukla, you see the little girl, when she was a small girl, she remembered her previous life as Mana. She lived in a village called Bhakpara in Ratala district in India. So she remembered the village, she remembered her house, 30 details she recollected. When they went to that village, they took her. She could immediately find out the house and go there and recognize her father-in-law, mother-in-law, husband. She was actually leading from the front, as you see here. So, and she even knew the nicknames like Ketu, Karuna. Those were nicknames of her brother-in-laws. Yeah. So she's pointing out, you see here, 30 different people. She even said, I have kept a trunk in the top. It has got saris and what color saris, everything she said. So Ian Stevenson was amazed because Ian Stevenson would look for frauds, somebody trying to become popular with the name of remembering previous life. So this is not the only one. There are 3,000 such cases he has studied. So there are many scientists and philosophers who are also mentioned about reincarnation, as you see here. You see what Benjamin says. Finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall always, in some shape or other, always exist. So there are others also, philosophers, scientists. So little bit about the mechanism of the mind is important to know today, because when you talk about the reincarnation, it will be very helpful at that time. You see, the intelligence is like a CPU in a computer, decision maker. And the mind is like a hard disk. It's a storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, previous experiences and all that. You store your desires. Like you all have many, many desires now. So in this life, most of your desires are fulfilled and some may be undone. You haven't completed it. So that will be carried by the mind to the next body, where you can give shape to them, like that, unfulfilled desires. And your previous experiences also remain with you. Based on which some of you here, how many of you here are very fond of keeping a pet dog with you? You are fond of pet dogs? How many of you are afraid of dogs? Yeah, you see, it's based on the experience, correct? Because some of us have good experience, some of us have bad experience. So different people have different experiences. Some people say dogs bark, dogs bite. Other people say, oh, dogs are very good friends. They are very lovely animals. So we have different experiences. So these are all stored in the mind. Yeah. Our perceptions, isn't it? Yeah. And we have 5 senses. So why I am putting in them in one line? Intelligence, mind, 5 senses. So the mind is filled with desires. It consults the intelligence. You see, the mind goes by instinct, whereas intelligence goes by reason. And the mind goes by pleasure, and intelligence goes by long-term consequences. So we should act as per intelligence or as per the mind. Yeah? Intelligence, yeah. Intelligence is superior. So the senses are like children. Say the mind is like a mother, intelligence is like father, you can say. They're like a family. So, for example, say the man is working, he is supporting the family, and the mind consults intelligence, and the senses consult the mind. Here is an example, you see here. The 5 senses are compared to 5 horses, and the ropes are compared to the mind, and the intelligence is the driver, and the passenger is the soul. This is given in Kathopanishad, this example. So it's very important to know this example. See, our 5 senses, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin, they run in different directions. For example, if my eyes are seeing a poster, it just captures it and puts it in the mind. So mind is like this. Shrotam, Chakshu, Sparshanam, Rasanam, Granam, Evad, Adhishtayam, Arashtayam, Vishyam, Upasevati. Krishna says, mind is a central entity. And the five senses are connected to the mind. Just like you see, the five hearts are connected to the ropes, like that. So everything we are putting in the mind, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you touch, what you smell, everything is put in the mind. So mind is like a storehouse of your experiences. So you can give your mind pure experiences or impure experiences. Say, for example, somebody is seeing my computer here, you find beautiful Radha and Krishna, Radha Vrindavan Chandra in Pune. So you take that darshan, then you put them in your mind. When you get up in the morning, you remember the beautiful forms and you bow down to them, isn't it? Or you can put something else in your mind, some dirty thing in your mind. There are boys and girls who have seen exorcist movies, exorcist and ghost movies. If you keep on watching ghost movies, night when you're lying down, suddenly in your window you'll find a skeleton will come and laugh, like that will laugh. You get shocked because you was watching such movies. Whatever is stored in your mind, that is what comes, like Gigo, we call it, Gigo principle. Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. So therefore the input to mind is very important. And if the mind is not controlled by the intelligence, it's going to go like mad like horses. You can see that. So like Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, make friendship with your mind, and the mind should elevate you. Don't degrade with your mind, he says. See, mind should be your servant or you should be mind's servant. Mind should be our servant or we should be mind's servant. Mind should be our servant, right? Like smartphone you have. Should smartphone help you or smartphone make you a slave? But most people we see in this world, smartphone has made them a slave. Do you agree? Over a period of time, they are helpless and the smartphone makes them mad, drives them mad. So similarly, the mind is also like a smartphone with you. You should use it when you have to use it and not become slave to it. That's what he's saying. So mind is controlled, it will be a good friend. But if you don't control the mind, it can become mad. It's like an elephant. If you control the elephant properly, train the elephant. An elephant can give ashirwad, elephant can carry even lordships, like sometimes Lord also is carried by the elephant in the temples, you will see that. An elephant can lift trunks of wood, it can help human beings also. But the same elephant, if you allow it to become mad, you know how bad it can become. It can lift scooters and throw it can crush cars, it can kill humans. So our mind is also like an elephant. It should be controlled, yeah. If you don't control the mind, mind goes crazy. That's why modern people are suffering from depression, anxiety, hyperactivity, so many different kinds of things. This is what I told you, garbage in, garbage out, good in, good out. So it depends on what you give input to your mind. So these are the inputs we are giving to the mind from the books we read, the movies we watch, the music we hear, the friendships we keep. Based on this, the mind is getting pure or impure inputs. Yeah. I give an example here. See, mental health. Mind feels that, let me learn to hold a cigarette at least, it says. But intelligence says, no, it's a bad habit. Your parents won't want to see you smoke and don't get into the wrong track. So intelligence is actually mature, it's superior. Intelligence can be strengthened more and more by hearing Bhagavad Gita and by studying the scriptures. With discrimination, Viveka Buddhi can be increased. Viveka Buddhi means to know what is right, what is wrong, and choose the right and reject the wrong. And so now last part of the seminar today is practical benefits. So what is the advantage in gaining this knowledge which you gained today? There are many, many advantages. If you see here, the very first one, if you see, why are Hindus and Muslims fighting based on bodily platform? Correct, no? We are neither Hindus, nor Muslims, nor Christians, nor Sikhs. This body and external attire is all superficial. A soul is same in all the bodies, spirit soul. Like you see, whites and blacks had problem also, you all know that. Rich and poor have economic bracket class, they have problems. Educated, illiterate, beautiful and ugly. So there can be clashes between these different types of people. Whereas on the other hand, you find we have European, Chinese, whites, blacks. We had 120 countries worldwide came to Calcutta. You know that I was there in this function. And they all actually went for Harinam Sankirtan procession chanting Hare Krishna. In fact, when we were assembling 120 country people in Calcutta, we wrote a letter to Dr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, because we asked him permission, can we do this? Because he himself had a Guinness Book of World Record of bringing 104 countries worldwide. He brought once to India. So we told him that we are beating your record. We are getting 120. So we wanted to check with you whether we have your permission. On the same day, he responded saying that I am proud of you, that you have brought so many countries to India and you are all doing Harinam Sankirtan. My best wishes. You go ahead. And then our book entered the Guinness Book of World Record, beating our Prime Minister's record. You know that? So, see, Srila Prabhupada is able to bring people from all over the world under one umbrella of India and make them chant Hare Krishna. In ISKCON, you will see, you go to Mayapur near Calcutta, you will find 10,000 foreigners you will find in March time, if you go in March. So that means, when you teach the knowledge of the soul, that can unite the world, not divide the world. Yeah, all other differences divides the world. See here, what is he thinking, this fellow? He's thinking, actually he's thinking over the body. I am black, I am short, I am ugly, I come from poor family and I have no talent. So he's becoming very, very much bogged down by inferiority complex. Whereas when you know you're not the body, you're the spirit soul. Spirit soul is always beautiful. Spirit is always beautiful. He's full of love, joy, serenity, and compassion for others. So if you think you're the body, you can have an inferiority complex because body has so many limitations, but the spirit soul is different from the body. Soul conscious. Here you see, he is thinking, everybody is selfish, and I feel lonely and cornered. I have to, to survive in the world, I have to attack everybody else. Like that he is thinking. Nowadays, many people think like this. Whereas here he is thinking that instead of blaming my friend for not being cooperative with me, I'll learn to help him and be more kind and courteous to him. So actually the soul consciousness means you see others as children of God, part and parcel of God. You treat everyone with dignity and respect. Even when you are seeing an ant on the road, you will not crush it because there's a soul in that ant's body. So just like if you are going in a truck, you see a Luna, can a truck crush a Luna just because Luna is small? In Luna is also there's a driver, and truck also is the same type of driver. So both the vehicles have same type of driver. Similarly, in ant's body and our body, same type of soul is present. You can see like that. See, this fellow is thinking about, he has put some big money in the Swiss bank and he's very proud. He's thinking that I have nothing to worry now. Whereas actually when you're soul conscious, you feel some sympathy for the poor creatures like cows. You actually develop a sympathetic nature, and you know that the body is temporary, it will perish. I should do some good activities. Let me do something for the welfare of the world. Actually, the spiritual knowledge, it makes true human beings. So I'm going to sing a poem towards the end. You all can sing together with me. And the meter is very simple, very easy to repeat meter. You don't have to repeat after me, but you can sing along with me. Okay? I am a tiny jiva, not the ultimate God, but a tiny part and parcel, servant of the Lord, leaving Lord's company, forced to be born in pain, in the world filled with agony, again and again. Krishna is my Lord, the source of all existence. His form is imperishable, full of six opulences. He pays a visit to this world out of his own sweet will to please and protect his devotees and punish the evil. I am only Brahman, but Krishna is Para Brahman. My power is limited, his potencies are unlimited. I can make a swimming pool. God creates oceans. I can fly a rocket, but Lord floats huge planets. I can invent a dome light, but God creates moonlight. We make ordinary dolls, but the Lord made us all. Lord is the actual doer. I am just an imitator. Lord is omnipresent, omnipotent and omniscient, who deserves everyone's love and humble service. I am a tiny jiva cast in oceanic material world. The Lord is the greatest of all. Let us accept this fact at heart. We are His tiny servants. Let's realize and serve Him with joy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So what is the essence of this poem? Who can say? In your own words. What we sang just now. Anybody? In one line? God is great and we are small. And God is master, we are His servants. And God is also spirit, we are also spirit. But He is supreme spirit and we are tiny spirit. He is called Paramatma, we are called Jivatma. He is Parabrahman, we are Brahman. We are Brahman and He is Parabrahman. So, now we are seeing the summary in one slide summary. First, in the beginning of the class today, I told you about matter and spirit. There I told you that the body is only 110 rupees. Then body versus soul, discussions we did. Material versus spiritual viewpoint. And unseen driver of the bodily car is the soul. So these are things we saw in matter and spirit. Then 6 changes I told you, the living body. And then there are 3 differences between living body and robo, I told you. Then gross and subtle body we discussed. Then scientific proofs for existence of an anti-material personality. So these are all different things we discussed. Reincarnation studies. And then the mechanism of mind also you learned today. How the senses give information to the mind conserves the intelligence. And that's how, and practical benefits of the soul also I told you. So we concluded this. So now we are supposed to conclude by 8 o'clock. If you have questions, 5 minutes, I can take questions. If anybody, whatever I spoke today, was it very clear to you? It was easy to grasp, or is it a little difficult? How did you find it? Is it? Yeah. Any reflections or questions? Both are allowed. Anybody would like to share your thoughts? You can share also. Yeah. Please give the mic to them. You have one more mic? Cordless.
Hare Krishna.
I think it's coming from the online. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one question. So, like you mentioned, there is reincarnation happens in this world, and we keep on getting multiple bodies.
Correct.
Yeah, but whenever we get a body, we have to do our duty. And for example, like sometimes we can't completely omit the science, right? Like telephone was made, flight was made that made people's life easier. So like, I definitely agree we should have spiritual, but if the science is also not there, it will, like for example, we are seeing each other from the call, right? If that is not there, that makes. So my question is like, if everyone becomes sadhus and
everyone is not asked to become sadhu also. See, Arjuna wanted to leave his duty and go to forest. Did Krishna allow him to go to forest?
No, he didn't.
Krishna told him to fight.
Yeah,
you have to do your duty as a Kshatriya. Kshatriya, you have to fight the battle. So Krishna doesn't say ask everybody to become sadhu. See, for example, in a society, there is a group of engineers, and there's a group of doctors, there's a group of chartered accountants. In the same manner, different industries produce different things. So you also need some sadhus also. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So they are one class of people. 99.9% of the population will not be monks. They will be family people. Even in ISKCON society also, 99% are family people. Even the president of this temple, Vanamal Pandit Pramod, his good wife and son, Gopal, he is running this temple. He is a family man working in IT company. He is doing both. He is working in company also and running this temple also. So I am a monk, but the monks are few even in ISKCON also. Not many are monks. So we don't advocate giving up everything and in the name of God consciousness you give up all activity. We never preach that. Even Arjuna was not preached to preach that. Is it clear?
Yes. But my thing is like compared to sadhus, the percentage or the statistics for the non-sadhus to reach moksha is tough because they have to face the outside world, and where sadhus are like dedicated because they always move with good people. It's easy for them, but for others they have to deal with like if people does business with all the corrupted people, and if it is with work, politics. So they have to lie, and sometimes we have to do everything. So then the intelligence, Bhagavatam tells about the intelligence that we have to gain, but it will take time. But in case we don't get that intelligence within this birth, we have to take another birth. So how to overcome that?
Yeah, therefore, Lord Krishna teaches in the Gita how to live like a drop of water in a lotus leaf, untouched in the world. You should be, like even Jesus says in Bible, you should be in this world but not of this world, he says. Actually, it's not impossible. I'll tell you one example of one great king, Ambarish Maharaj. There's one verse which says, Griheshu dareshu sudeshu bandhushu dvipottamasandhanavadi vastushu Akshayaratnambaranambaradishu Anantakosheshu Akarot Asanmatim. This verse says, one great king lived long ago. His name was Ambarish Maharaj. He had wives, many queens he had, many children he had. And also it says that Griheshu, Dareshu, Suteshu, Bandhushu, all relatives and friends were also living with him in the palace. And it says that he was having big elephants, a lot of horses and golden chariots. And he had costly garments, and he had jewelry, all these things. And also he had an inexhaustible treasury also, wealth, a lot of wealth. But none of these things made him become entangled in this world. He was a pure devotee of Krishna. Morning he would rise, take a bath and go to Krishna temple. He would wash the temple with his own hands. With his eyes he saw the beauty of Lord Krishna's deity form. Ears he heard the Krishna Katha daily, every morning. With the mouth he sang the kirtans of the Lord. With the legs he walked to the temple. With the hand he performed arati. So he used all his senses in Lord's service. Although he was a king, he lived a very simple and pure life. And then he went back to Godhead. So even if you are a very wealthy man, living in the world, you have a big business, still you can be God conscious, according to Ambarish's example. That's even Yudhishthira Maharaj was like that also. Janak Maharaj was like that. Krishna quotes all those examples. All right?
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Here there's a question. Yeah, please go ahead.
If I could share something.
Yeah, you can, sure. Yeah. Yeah, now we can hear you.
In response to this question,
Okay.
even evolution, when the evolution started, those species which faced attacks in the other species, but then didn't give up.
You're talking about survival of the fittest.
No, yes. So which face attacks, those evolved much higher. Those which are comfortable, settled, all those creatures stay like that, just like dog or pig, something like that. But which face, So
his point is, in life, when there is struggle, then you grow.
Yeah. So
you can accept failure as a stepping stone to success.
Yeah. So which means, in a way, who is outside in the world facing all the struggles, but not losing any, not losing their virtues, values, they will reach moksha even sooner.
Yeah.
In reality, because even when Arjuna asked this question, if that is so, why can't we leave everything and go to
forest?
And,
Yeah, correct.
Then that is Krishna says that is the exact mistake your father has made. He left everything and went, now see how is the kingdom. He gave up the kingdom and the wrong people took up the kingdom, and now this war is the result of that.
Yeah.
So which means one must stay in the world, doing all the duties, but not living in his values, virtues.
Yeah,
it is very easy to sit inside a hall or room and just close your doors, and that's very easy, but it doesn't take you anywhere.
Yeah, correct.
My brain has to open.
Even in our moment, Srila Prabhupada taught us that you should not go to Himalayas and retire. Rather, our even brahmacharis, we live in the heart of the city. We go and distribute books, we distribute prasadam, we go and distribute knowledge in schools, colleges. Even we live in the city. We don't go and live in the Himalayas. In fact, we rise early in the morning, 3 o'clock, 3:30, we get up in the morning, night we sleep at 9:30. So we work 17, 18 hours a day. So even sadhus in ISKCON work very hard, actually. We never advocate laziness or lethargy or isolating ourselves from society. So don't isolate yourself, insulate yourself. Insulate means you live in the society, but insulate yourself from all bad forces. That's the philosophy. Is it clear? Thank you. Good point. Thank you. I'll give it to her. Give the mic to her. Yeah.
Attachment is not you own nothing. It is like nothing owns you.
That's true. Yeah. Because ultimately everything is owned by God. Yeah, we have nothing to renounce. Only we should not hold on to them. Thank you. There was one more hand up. Yes, Sandhya, please.
I have one question regarding the soul. So we said that one soul resides in one body.
Yeah.
So I am trying to put it mathematically. So let's say in mathematics we have a one-to-one mapping system. So it means one input, one output.
Yeah.
So one soul, one body. But we can see that the population of the world is increasing. So does that mean that some other extra souls are coming from some main pool and they are entering the body?
Actually, why the population is increasing? See, for example, in 8th standard, 9th standard, you get easy promotion. In 10th standard, they have board exam, and many people are not passed. That. Say, for example, in 10th standard, out of 50 people, only 30 passed, 20 remain. But then from 9th standard, another batch of people are coming now. Correct now? So there are some boys detained in 10th standard. There are people coming. In the same manner, this human body is the junction from where you can go back to God, or if you fail, you come back again. So that means in this Kali Yuga, many people are not able to go back. They are not able to attain perfection. They are again and again taking a U-turn and coming back. And also from animal kingdom also you will see that the souls which come from, like a soul coming from monkey's body, that soul enters into the body of passionate men. And soul coming from the cow's body, that enters the body of sattvic man. No. Similarly, the souls living the tiger's body, lion's body, they enter the body of passionate men also. I mean, there is a similarly ignorance also, it is said, donkey and things like that. So you will find that from animal, those who finish off the animal bodies, they come to human body also. So they are also coming, and people are not getting liberated, they are coming back also. And those who went to heaven, they finish their punya and they also come back. So the human population is increasing in Kali Yuga because many people are detained in the class. That's the reason. Few souls are going back to the perfect abode. When Kali Yuga will end, then again Satya Yuga will start after that.
Can you also say that the total number of souls are constant?
Oh, they are constant actually. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, yes.
Today in your class, the biggest takeaway was that we are not our body.
Correct. Yeah, you are right.
It's a very fundamental truth.
Exactly.
Very fundamental truth, but it is very, very hard to realize. You actually see Arjuna himself was lamenting for Dronacharya, Bhishma, for the very same reason, because he was identified with body.
Correct.
So my question to you is, in your personal or practical experience, how can we keep this very fundamental truth, keep realizing it, keep it in our minds, or keep it on our, in our constantly.
Correct.
I think if or at least I felt like that answer, that the king's story that you said, constantly being engaged with Lord Krishna.
Correct, exactly.
His devotional service is. And
you can remember 5 things I'll tell you, by which you will always remember this. A, B, C, D, you can remember. A for association. Like right now you have come for a program where like-minded people come together and we all discuss this subject. That kind of regular association, at least weekly once, it's always essential. Second one, B is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam study. Regularly, you can keep a copy of Bhagavad Gita with you when you're going in the train or whenever you get time. Yeah, we can make it a policy to every day to read at least 1 page, 1 or 2 pages. 1 or 2 pages won't take you more than 10 minutes. That is a reading practice. But nowadays, people spend more time with smartphones than reading books. So we should just make it a practice to read 1 or 2 pages every day. So, and that's B. A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita, and C for chanting. So when we are chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, we will tell more about it in the future sessions. So when we chant, we cleanse the mind. The impurities in the mind are cleansed. Then we can see with clarity. And D for diet. Diet actually means the prasadam. This prasadam is also purifying because it is cooked with love and offered with love. So we will also tell you in the fourth session, we'll tell you more about that. How you all can also, whatever food goes into your mouth, you can offer it and take it. And then E stands for etiquettes and engagement. Etiquette means behavior towards other people. Etiquette means how we deal with others. When you're dealing with the world, how you deal with non-devotees and how you deal with material energy. So how you deal with devotees. So by proper dealing with the different people around you, you can actually keep yourself protected also. And engagement means seva engagement. You should do some seva. See, the more you do seva, like now one devotee is doing the seva of the Pujari seva is doing. Now, in the same manner, some Matajis, they make garland and bring and give for the deities. When you do some seva, that seva makes you think, I am the soul and God is my master, I am serving him. So that consciousness becomes reinforced by that. So these 5 things. Who can repeat? A for? B for? C for? And D for? And E for? Etiquette and engagement. Okay. So can we sing 5 minutes now? It's all right. And there was one hand up also. Please give the mic to him. Yeah. So your question was good. Actually, by remembering this, if you keep coming here even once in a week, you come after the course is over, you will find immensely beneficial. Yes.
My question was that how to prevent ourselves from overly attaching to people because everything tends to be anyway so that, and how to keep ourselves away from negativity and toxic environment.
Yeah. Actually, you have to purify the attachments. Like you have attachments to mother, father. Like I am a monk now, but it's not that, I will never look at my mother, father, my sisters or anything like that. In fact, my sisters live next to our temple in Pune. They live in the, I see them every day actually coming to temple. But I have purified my relationship with them by making them devotees. Now they are also chanting Hare Krishna. They are also initiated now. They come to ISKCON. They do a lot of seva also. Many times my sisters call me asking questions on philosophy. So then, because they have become devotees, I am devotee, then we both will go back to God and eternally we will be connected to our relatives also there in spiritual world. But our connection will be spiritual. What is condemned in the scriptures is, if you connect with the relatives by which we both degraded, for example, like Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana were attached to each other, but both degraded in their attachment because that attachment was not spiritual, it was mundane. On the other hand, you will find Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers. The brothers always followed Yudhishthira Maharaj because they had attachment to elder brother and respect for him also. And he was very Krishna conscious, so that was elevating. So our attachment should elevate us, not degrade us. That is the point. And regarding, saving ourselves from the negativity of the world, we have to internally become strong. You can't change the world outside. Like if you have milk, for example, if you add water to the milk, milk gets diluted. Right now, our mind is like milk only. When outside world, the water is added, then we get diluted, we become very weak in mind. But if you do sadhana like chanting, then the milk can be turned into, curd and eventually turned into butter. Once your mind becomes like butter, then butter, you put it in water, it will not mix. So those who have done sadhana for Lord and they have awakened Lord in the heart, they become very deep and strong. So like Prabhupada came to New York, he was living in the midst of Bowery, he didn't get affected at all. He could keep his purity. In fact, he made them purer. So he influenced them positively. Similarly, you will become a spreader of cheerfulness and positivity in the world around you if you do sadhana and get stronger inside. Is it all right? Yeah, thank you. Can we do 5 minutes kirtan? Has the mridangam player? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय। 6:30 tomorrow also, Gingal.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much once again for coming to the over of Shri Radheshyam and taking the fortune of attending this year's Radheshyam lecture. So, we are grateful to all of you for coming. So, after this announcement, we can go and share the of the start. I also had a humble request to all of you. So, we are very grateful that most of you have registered. And we have also simultaneously realized that some of you have not yet registered. So we request you that in case you do not have the Eventbrite link, please let us know. We will share it with you. Because the registration number will help us, it helps us so that we plan and arrange. Okay. And we'll again meet tomorrow at 6:30. Okay. And please make sure in case those who are not